Tarragon Town was completely upgraded, now known as Tarragontropolis, with new buildings constructed and others under construction. The clock tower, restaurant, and other large-scale buildings were all built in this process. One of these buildings, the Hospital of Tarragontropolis, had its upper floor closed off to the public, most likely due to contained renovations and constructions. The most important new building in Tarragon was Tarragon Tower. Known for being the largest and tallest structure in Tarragon, this tower contained large amounts of power for the city. Tarragon Tower was the symbol of the thriving city. The floating desert in the southwest was investigated. On top of the island was the other half of a house on the island that was teleported away, along with some cranes from the construction in Tarragontropolis. Most notably, there was an ancient alien village located there. The buildings had purple scriptures of some alien language. Translations were attempted, but failed. And the largest building was a room with its walls lined with skulls of alien species. Below the floating desert were odd, shadow-like tentacles. The species of shadow creatures that were under the shadow of the desert island seemed to have been carried over from where the desert came originally. The creatures never left from under the shadow of the floating island, even at night. Suspiciously, the mansion where the missile was launched from was nowhere to be seen, but nobody knew where it went. The Tarragon government took advantage of this. They went over to see where the mansion once was, investigating the area and getting more information behind who was running the operation with the missile against Andromeda. They found that the mansion had been abandoned for decades, only to be bought recently by a man named John Carter. They noticed that John had bought off the mansion to construct a sort of laboratory for his own personal use, discreet from the rest of the island. John had made a very modern underground lab and an interface installed, showing the blueprints for the missile along with his plans for destroying Andromeda. John Carter was known for his inventive mind and his fortune he made from selling his creations and weapons to the Tarragon government during the war against Andromedians. He was also known for helping design the Terrabots along with the Terratrons. John had been creating the missile to sell to Tarragon during the war. However, Tarragon ended up defeating Andromeda much sooner than he had anticipated, leaving the missile unneeded by Tarragon. John must have been desperate for more money, so sending the missile himself would potentially bring the war back again. The current whereabouts of John were completely unknown to the people on the island, but maybe it should be kept that way. The dead robot suddenly consumed all of the energy from the souls of the Andromedians. The robot stood up with its creaking legs. A deep vibration rumbled from the Andromedian, sending out some sort of signal. The robot's legs gave out as it crashed back to the ground.